Hi everyone. Congratulations on finishing the first stage of your first cycle of the literature review blog assignment. I want to just give a quick announcement with a few important pieces of information, some reminders to help you wrap up this stage of the literature review blogging and move into the next stage. So first, make sure that you have access to this literature review blog schedule. It's posted on the assignment in Canvas, so all of the literature review blog assignments on Canvas will have a link to this spreadsheet. I also just recently put it in an announcement in Canvas. If you have trouble locating this, please let me know and I'll share it with you. What you can do is use this spreadsheet to help keep you on track for the literature review blogging cycles. We're going to have 3 cycles of the literature review blog, and we're in the first cycle right now, which is focused on methods for asynchronous facilitation. As you know, the literature review, the collaborative literature review was due January 31st, and your groups have done that work. You have 2 weeks to craft your blog post, and I'm going to take you through an infographic in just a moment to share with you some pointers for how to go about crafting that blog post. And then once the blog posts are submitted, you'll have 1 week to read and comment on a peer's blog. And I've indicated the person that you should comment on here. So for the first cycle, Megan will comment on Addie's blog, Julie will comment on Shannon's blog, Karen will comment on David's blog, and you can find the links to everyone's blog here. And I've just tried to make sure that you are commenting on folks who aren't in your literature review group, so that you're getting exposure to some different pieces of literature that your group maybe didn't read in your collaborative literature review. So use this schedule to keep you on track and help you see who you need to comment on. One quick announcement about the literature review spreadsheet. I'm going through today and reading some of your findings and some of your implications. Make sure that when you are taking notes in the spreadsheet that you're filling out as many of the columns as you possibly can. So for some of you, you only put a lot of information here at the beginning in column H for the purpose and main idea, but your colleagues in your group are really counting on you to put detailed information all across, like you can see here. So it's especially important for you to leave detailed findings and implications. So the findings and implications are really going to be where your group members take the most important information that they're going to use in their blog posts soon. So if you only put the methods and the purpose, for example, they don't actually get to see what the research study found. So that's really important. Make sure that you include as much as you can. You may have a study that doesn't clearly describe the research methods, so you don't have a lot to put there, and that's okay. But the findings and implications are really critical pieces where you need to be sure that you're filling in those columns in your literature review spreadsheet. So let me talk really quickly through this infographic. I shared this in an announcement a few days ago, and I also have put it in the Canvas site for the literature review blog assignment. Again, if you have trouble locating this, let me know and I'll share it with you. So let's just talk really quickly through the steps of writing a literature review blog post. So this is just a sort of a synopsis of what you're doing here, the work that you're doing. The first step is what you've already done, locating at least 5 articles, each member per group locating at least 5 articles, reading those, and taking notes in the group shared spreadsheet. So your next step, what you have these 2 weeks set aside for, is these next couple of steps. The first thing to do is to review your group's collaborative notes. So you need to look back through not only your notes, but the notes taken by everyone in your group. And really your goal here is to try to pull out the themes or the big ideas across all of those articles. So perhaps your group read 15 articles. You want to look through those notes and try to find the main categories or themes that your group took notes about. So you may have, 3 or 4 big themes or big ideas that are kind of mentioned over and over, or you may only have 2 or 3 that are mentioned over and over in the findings. You want to pull those out, and I would recommend that you use color coding or highlighting or some organization system to help you identify where those themes are, because when you write your blog post, you don't just want to summarize each of the 15 articles separately. We're really looking for a synthesis here so that you're focusing on the big ideas and how these articles are connected instead of summarizing each article individually. So in your blog post, I would encourage you to use those themes or those big ideas as your headings to organize your blog post. So you may have found several articles talking about using social media for asynchronous discussion. So that may be one of your headings. Or you may have found several articles that talk about the instructor's role in facilitating asynchronous discussion. So that may be one of your headings. And so then underneath the heading of instructor role, or under the heading of social media, you would sort of summarize what the findings were from several different articles. Now, you may not mention all 15 articles, but you certainly would want to mention several of them as you write your blog posts. The idea is that you're not just synthesizing the 5 articles that you read, but that you're looking at all the articles across your group. That's the purpose of having that shared spreadsheet, so that your group can sort of divide and conquer, and then you can learn from each other. So again, instead of just summarizing, we're really looking for a synthesis here. So focusing on the big ideas and then making connections across your articles. Again, that's where some sort of color coding system could come in really handy as you review the literature review spreadsheet. While you're writing your blog post, keep in mind that this is a blog, so this is not a formal literature review that you're turning in for an assignment. It is a blog, and think about the kinds of people who might stumble across your blog and read it. Make sure that you use a sort of a reader-friendly, casual style. It doesn't have to be as academic as a traditional literature review would be. Make sure to include a reference list at the end that is APA formatted, and also be sure to include in-text citations with the author and year in parentheses. Again, that's APA style. And if you include a direct quote, make sure that you also follow APA guidelines for direct quotes, which would be author, year, and then page number from that direct quote. The in-text citations will be really helpful because if you make a statement that's not your own, it's a statement that you gathered from the literature review, then you have to give credit to the author who made that statement. So you're going to write your blog post using the themes or the categories or the big ideas to give some structure to that. And then that final step is that last week you have in the cycle where you're going to read a classmate's blog and leave a comment. And here are some ideas about what your comment might do. Your comment might enhance or expand the post, so you might elaborate based on your own literature review. You may be able to elaborate on what your classmate wrote, or maybe you have some questions, or you kind of want to question the findings. Maybe not question your classmate, but question what the authors found, and maybe you could say, well, that doesn't really match up with my experience. I wonder why they found that to be true. Or you might be able to make connections across multiple articles. So perhaps your classmate made some really good statements that you also found in your literature review, so you could help make some connections that way. So the comment should do more than just, hey, good job, I really like your blog, but really provide some sort of meaningful feedback and take the literature review a step further. So please use these resources as you move into the next phase of the literature review blogging process. Be sure to review this chart to make sure that you're commenting on the right person and that you're following the due dates. And then use this screencast and this infographic anytime you need to, just to help you move through those steps in the process. And if you have any questions as you work on your blog, please let me know. If you have a draft and you would like feedback, I'd be happy to read that and give you some feedback. I look forward to reading your first blog posts. Good luck with those.